Got a good one on Sunday night. Defending Super Bowl champion New York Giants going on the road to play their NFC East division rival Philadelphia Eagles. BETDAQ currently has Philadelphia installed as a 1-point favorite in this game. Two totals markets being offered, 46.5 and 47.5. Now both these teams 2-1 on the year, but coming off of very different Week 3 results. Giants seem to return to their Super Bowl winning form, dominating the Carolina Panthers on national TV. Philadelphia, meanwhile, went out west, played the Arizona Cardinals, and were manhandled, blown out in that game, which was a surprise to a lot of people, me included. Philadelphia was a road favorite in that game. A lot of people hadn't fully bought in on the Cardinals, even though they beat New England, of course, on the road in Week 2. People expected Philadelphia to sort of expose Arizona last week. That is not what happened at all. If you watch that game, looked like there was nothing fluky about it. Arizona looked like the better team. Really surprising to see that Arizona defense just handle this Philadelphia offense the way they did, especially after seeing the Philadelphia offense have a lot of success against Baltimore's defense a week before. And Baltimore's defense, of course, heading into the season, had a bigger reputation than Arizona's. But now we know every year in the NFL is something different. Through 3 weeks, things are looking a little different. Arizona might have a better defense this year than the Baltimore Ravens. But considering these two teams' results last week, it might be a little surprising to some that Philadelphia is actually favored in this game. Again, a 1-point favorite on BETDAQ. But if you look a little closer and you look at these two teams' histories, you know, Philadelphia has really had the Giants' number for the last few years. 7-1 against the number the last eight times these two teams have played. And the reason I lean towards Philadelphia in this game, and I do lean towards the Eagles -1, is because I feel like their back's a little against the wall here. This game feels to me like it's a little bit more important to Philadelphia than it is the New York Giants. You know, I know Philadelphia won their first 2 games, but those were not pretty wins by any means. As a matter of fact, they've yet to cover a number yet this year. 0-3 against the numbers, Philadelphia. But squeaked by Cleveland in Week 1. Michael Vick throwing 4 interceptions in that game. They only beat Cleveland by a point. Then they came from behind and beat the Baltimore Ravens by a point in another game in which they were plagued by turnovers. So these mistakes we're seeing from the Philadelphia offense, I mean, is this just a couple isolated incidents, or is this the way they're going to be all year? Are they going to be like last year's San Diego Chargers, where Phillip Rivers goes on and throws 20-some-odd interceptions and they're not able to make the playoffs? I still think this Philadelphia offense is going to be a good unit, one of the best units in the league. And when you look at this team statistically, they should be better than they've appeared to be on the field. 5th in the NFL right now in total offense and 5th in total defense. So hard to point to a specific weak spot on this team aside from the fact that they haven't been careful enough with the ball. They've been turning over the ball. Jeremy Maclin was injured, missed the last game. Questionable as to whether we're going to see him go in this game. New York Giants, one of their best receivers, Hakeem Nicks, has also been banged up. So some injury issues on both sides. The Philadelphia defense, will they be able to contain this New York passing game? I mean, we know, we've all seen it now with the Giants last year through the playoffs and so far this season. They are built around Eli Manning and those wide receivers. Manning, of course, 2 weeks ago against Tampa Bay, throwing for 510 yards, 8th highest total in NFL history, and he might have been able to throw for 510 last week if he'd have had to. That game was just wrapped up against Carolina so quickly that there wasn't much downfield passing in the second half. So, you know, I understand the Giants angle here, and even though I lean towards Philadelphia, not sure if I'm going to pull the trigger and have a play on this game. I just might. We'll decide here in the next 24 to 48 hours. We of course, put those picks up here on BETDAQ NFL, but I lean towards the Eagles here. For some reason, I feel like this is a big game for them. If they lose this game, after their performance last week against Arizona, if they were to lose at home against the New York Giants, to me, the questions rightfully should start about this Philadelphia Eagles team. Is the direction of this team? Are they going in the proper direction? I know Andy Reid's been there forever, but after last year, which was a disappointment, Eagles really sputtering to an 8-8 record after many people pegged them as the favorites to win the NFC East coming into this year. If they get off to a bad start this year, and I do think if they lose this game, even though they'll only be 2-2, I do think we can officially call it a bad start for the Philadelphia Eagles. You know, I think that would be not a good thing for all involved, meaning the coaches and the players, and I think all involved know that. So I expect sort of an inspired effort from Philadelphia this week. I think we're going to see a different team from the one that we saw last week lose to Arizona, and I do lean towards Philadelphia at home on Sunday night, laying 1 point against the New York Giants.